Hello, welcome to the Backyard Machine Shop. Today, guys, we're going to work on rebuilding a couple of hydraulic pumps for the Exmark mower. So these are here's our pump here. These are Hydrogear PJ model hydraulic pumps, and we're going to take it apart, see what it looks like on the inside, replace the seal, and rebuild if necessary. So stand by, let me get everything set up, and we'll take and start tearing it down. Alright guys, so what we got here is we got the pump, and we just kind of mounted it into this old chuck. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we mark everything where it'll go back in correctly. So I don't think there's really a problem, but what we're going to do is we're just going to take this little punch, and I'm just going to punch a little punch mark on the front, which would be the valve body side, and the let's get something that's a little bit better than that. Alright, so we've taken and we've punched the locations. We know where everything's going to go when it goes back together. So our next, dirt in there. Alright, so when you take off this, I forgot what it's called, taking several pictures of it, and now we're ready to take it apart. And then we're going to take off this external pump here first. Now this thing's got a check valve in it. We got to be real careful how it comes off. Looks like it's a half. Alright guys, so we're going to take this off real slow, and I need to go get a little box, put these parts in. Check valve. Alright, so all this little stuff like this check valve, we're probably not going to get that ball out until it goes in here. Alright, so we got all that. We put it in a bag. All the little stuff, we can keep up with it. Alright, so far so good. Straighten everything back out here. And these come out, and they're spring loaded, so I'm going to take out, pull back them all the way out. There we go. This pump looks to be in pretty good shape. Now, if you look right here, this is where the wear goes. Look, if you look right here, this is where the wear is on these pumps. So the key is, if you can get your fingernail to catch, then it's got too much wear in it. And I don't see anything but a scratch on this thing, so it's not worn to a point where it needs to be replaced. Okay. So, but looking here, get my glasses on. I see little tiny flake of metal. Where'd it go? I wanted to show it to you. There it is. Little tiny flake of metal there that leads me to believe there's something wrong inside this pump. All right, so we're going to take out the pump pistons, and I probably need to turn it sideways to do that, and this thing's got a lot of oil in it in here. So, it's too tall. Alright, we got us a little container here. Let's see if we can't pour that oil. It's actually mostly gasoline because I've flushed. Oh well. Guess that wasn't too bright. That's good to see that this pump is not too worn. I was really worried about them pumps. Alright, so this is the pump pistons, and what this does, this is when it's rotating, this pumps the fluid through the pump. So this one looks really good. I mean, everything on this pump looks real good. Alright, so we got a spring, and then there's a little washer underneath the spring. Okay, that comes out. And then there's a thrust bearing in here that we got to take out of here somehow. And I'm replacing all this anyway, so. Man, this pump looks real good compared to the other one. I've already taken the other one apart, and I know that I got to rebuild it. And this is what they call the swash plate. What the swash plate does, it directs. This thrust bearing sits on top of these pistons, and the swash plate fits like this. And when you twist the swash plate, it actually, that's what pumps the fluid. So. Yeah, this is going to be a real easy pump to rebuild here. I'm not going to have to do anything to it compared to the other one. Nice. Alright, so now we need to take the pump. Back out of this balls here. Alright guys, so the next thing we need to do is we need to take the snap ring out, and I don't care how many sets of pliers you have, there's always something. There you go. Put it in there. Alright, now the shaft should slide right out. Tell you what, let's put it on the press, and we'll push it out with the press. getting a little more resistance than I'm thinking we should have. There's nothing left there to, should come out. All right. Well, see if we can dig the seal out and see what's in here. No keeper. Already got that off. The seal, got a washer. You know what it looks like to me? Here it goes. And then you got a bearing in the shaft. So I think we got a little burr on this floor here. We're going to clean that up. Alright, so there you have it. This pump's in pretty good shape. Now the reason, look, I've got this stuff laid out here. This was all clean when I started. But look at the trash that I've accumulated. So now what I can do is I'll just change out this sheet. I'll go clean up all the parts and we'll change out this sheet when we go to put it back together. Okay? Alright guys, here we are. We had the I got both pumps pulled apart. Left side pump, right side pump. Show you a couple of things I found. Left side pump thrust bearing is in really good shape. Looks like you can put it right back in and it'll be fine. Right side thrust bearing is totally disintegrated, and this pump was destined for failure pretty soon if it hadn't already failed. The next thing was the 2 points of wear that I saw. Now this is the one that had the bad seal and it was leaking. So the bad seal probably came from the vibrations from that thrust bearing. Next thing is, like I said, in this plate here, the wear surface, and what wears here is these little caps. This is where they spin, and as they go around, they're pumping fluid into that valve body. Well, right where they turn is a wear surface. Now they have a wear surface on the back, and then they have a wear surface on this plate. This one's in good shape. The book actually says if you can grab it with your fingernail, it needs to be replaced. I cannot grab this one. So I would say it may be a half a thousandths of wear in there. I can feel it, but I can't grab it. Okay. Now on this plate here, I'll bring it up front. Let me move this. This plate I can grab, and I measured it, and it's like 1.5 thousandths, maybe 2 thousandths wear in there. The pump has some wear, but not too bad. But we're going to replace this pump anyway, and we're going to fix this. Okay. But all this is probably a result of this thrust bearing going out. If you look inside this race of this thrust bearing, it is chattered up pretty good, and it had to have been vibrating like crazy. And that would probably have caused the valve, the seal to go bad. Here's the seal. So what we're going to do, we have 4 options here. One is replace this valve body, and that valve body is about $200 to replace. Second option is to maybe chuck this valve body up into the lathe, come in here and face out that bad surface, and that's a pretty viable, pretty easy solution. And I hadn't completely done away with that idea, but next would be to take and put it in a milling machine and mill that surface flat and take out that wear. Again, haven't ruled that out, but that would be my least, next to buying a new one, would be my least way of fixing it. And then these parts look like they had been surface ground originally, or Blanchard ground, or ground is finished. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and set up the surface grinder, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to touch off on it and probably take off that 1.5 thou. And that, to me, that's the best way to do it. The only regret about doing it that way would be is all the grit that the surface grinder is going to create, having to get it back out of the valve body. So after doing that, we're going to have to wash them and clean them real good, and probably blow them out 4 or 5 times and do what we can to get the grit out of it. So I think that's what we're going to do. A worst case scenario, I have to buy a new plate. So, and if it comes out good, I might go ahead and knock this one down. I don't know. You can't hardly feel it. I might knock that one down too, and take that 1.5 thou off of it. Alright guys, so this is the ring I'm talking about, and you can see it right there. And I mean, it's just barely there, and this is the worst one. The other one here, you can see it, you can see the wear area, but you really cannot feel it. So we're going to take this one, and we're going to knock that out and clean it up. And I think we're going to do it on the surface grinder, so stay tuned. Alright guys, I got you in here. Make sure y'all can see that. I got you in here in the surface grinder room. And this ain't the best room to video, because I got the phase converter in here running, and it's closed in a little tight room. So anyways, we've done a few things before the camera came on. We've taken and we've dressed our wheel real good. I actually hadn't ran this in a long time, so I ran everything, made sure everything was working, coolant, and a couple other things. Then we stoned our chuck, we stoned our part, and we've got our part mounted. So again, we're just going to come in here and we're just going to kiss it, just barely kiss it. And I'm really not sure what the material is. It is ferric. It's kind of a cast iron or cast steel, so hopefully it'll grind real good. I got a pretty soft wheel on it, so in case it is kind of hard, we'll see what it does. So anyway, here we go. We're gonna come up, and like I said, we're just gonna come up and kiss the part. We'll kiss it off of the mating surface there. That way it'll, going to work off the part right there. Looks good. You turn on some coolant. We're just going to work it across. Like I said, we're just going to feed down until we get rid of those lines. I think that's going to do it, fellas. All right, guys, so we finished surface grinding the parts. Now, I went ahead and surface ground both of them. Let me walk around here and show you what we got. All right, guys, so here's the the part that was worn the worst, and I took 2/1000ths, right at 2/1000ths off of this one, and you can still see just a little bit of a ring right there. I squeezed it with some calipers or some mics, and I think we're at 1 inch 600 8.5 thousandths. So that, I don't know what it was before, I wish I had checked it, but that should work fine. And I went ahead and dusted off the other one also, measured it, and it's reading 1 inch 600 9.5 thousandths. So they're about 1/1000th apart, and I only took a 1/2 thousandths off of this one. So I might have taken 1 3/4 off of the other one, but it cleaned them up real nice. Now I just need to get everything cleaned up where I can get it put back together. Okay? So I think that's going to do it for this video, and I've already started cleaning some parts. I don't know if you can notice they're missing off of here, but I've got an ultrasonic cleaner, so most of the stuff I'm going to clean in the ultrasonic cleaner, and maybe tomorrow we'll put this thing back together. So, from the Backyard Machine Shop, so long.